For a throw style release, the club is going to be working back in and up the plane.
Yep.
And when I did that, you can see your right wrist goes into the throwing motion.
Yep.
You didn't try to hold the angle and hold it and lag it back there.
Yep.
Your left wrist broke down.
Yep.
Your left elbow breaks down a little, just like it's a baseball swing. You wouldn't take a bat and swing out towards the pitcher forever because you'd hit down the first baseline.
Right, yep.
So we're gonna have you feel that you get that angle. So if we bring you back here, you're gonna start to feel the club line up early.
Yep.
You can see that's already at the target.
Got it.
Very simple to just keep it moving around you, and it's released.
Let it throw.
A lot of people will get to here, line it up, and then stop throwing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once you get here, big thing for me is having people feel the left wrist give up.
Got it. So like kind of the back of the left hand a little more up towards the sky.
I almost feel like this left arm is just kind of going cuppy.
Yep. All right, guys, so let's talk about the throw release versus the twist release. Now, before we dive in, just a couple things. Number one, most of you guys do know we have launched our golf school dates for this summer in Bethlehem, PA. 2-day immersive events with myself. If you'd like to come hang out and do a golf school, I would love to have you. We'll put a link in the description down below. Now, if you can't make it to a school or you don't want to do a school and still want to work together, I would love to work with you through CogornoGolf.com. That's where I am at every day, interacting with members at the site. That's where you can send in your swing video and we can work together wherever you are in the world. I would love to have you at CogornoGolf.com. You get access to everything we have, all of our master classes, the member library, the practice section, everything else. We'll put a link in the description down below. Now again, as you can see, we're not out at Bethlehem Golf Club. There's an ocean behind me. We don't have that at Bethlehem. We are at the Monterey Peninsula Country Club, and in a moment we're going to bring in Kevin Roman. Now if you don't know who Kevin is, he's the Director of Instruction here at Monterey Peninsula. He was a 2014 State of Georgia PGA Teacher of the Year. In fact, he's played in 2 majors, 2 more than me and probably most of you people watching. So we're going to bring him in here in a moment. We're going to talk release. We'll talk to him in a moment. All right, Mr. Kevin, thanks for having us out here, my friend.
Thank you for having me, Eric.
Appreciate it. As we were talking off camera a little bit, this is quite a bit different than our Bethlehem normal range. We very much appreciate you having us here.
I appreciate you coming.
So twist release versus the throw release. Now, we talked a little bit off camera, obviously, but I think the majority of people maybe want to know what those terms mean first. And I know we have some cool visuals that you showed me that we were going to go through. And then we'll talk a little bit about what's involved with each of the patterns, maybe what to expect, some feels that they can take along with us. So if you don't mind, I'd like to switch spots and have you show us some of the visuals here to get started.
Alrighty. So one of the first things I'll do, especially when I'm doing clinics for our group and stuff, is I'll use these swing arcs. And I use them a lot when I hit balls. And the way I look at golf or was taught, that is, golf is a side-on game.
Yeah. Okay.
The ball's over here, we're standing to the side of it. Many people see the game as almost like trying to swing the club head at the target. Yeah. Okay, if I was standing on that line, it would work.
Yeah.
But what I've done is I'll set up and get down here. Now you can see I'm to the side of the ball, but I'm on ground level. From there, I can let the club swing on an arc.
Yep.
And that's really what golf is. People start to make it a straight line game. Some people swing it on a little bit more in arc.
Sure.
Some people swing it on a little bit shallower arc or smaller arc.
Yeah.
But it has to be swung on an arc.
Yep.
That's the easiest way to have consistency. Now, when I took this little orange lie angle tool, you can see how the arc and the tool line up together the whole time.
Yep.
That means that golf club is not doing a lot of twisting you talked about. And you can see my right hand right here.
Yeah.
If I had a baseball or I was going to throw something at the camera, my wrist would go like this. Yeah. I wouldn't take it and try to do something like that unless I was trying to make a ball curve.
Right, yep. Yep.
So to me, and people do it different ways and both are right. But for my golf swing and what I want people to understand is if I can do that and let the club swing on an end-to-end arc,
yep,
my golf ball is going to have minimal curve.
Yeah.
You know, and I got a lambkin on top of my grip right here. And when I get into the full swing, we can see that too. But lambkin, when I do this, never changes it's orientation.
Oh, that's good.
A lot of people, so if you get your grip there and you look at it and you brought it around and we can't read it anymore, we've got a club face that's twisting. Doesn't mean you can't hit a good one.
Sure.
But you're going to have to time it a little bit.
Maybe some more curveballs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, and I laughed a little bit, but it's really kind of a one-to-one comparison. You just said is I'm going to go more this way, straight, or I'm going to go this way for a curveball.
Correct.
Same kind of theory. So if you were to take that little visual, I mean, what a good visual there, right? It's pretty simple.
Yeah, it works pretty simple.
So if you take that visual from that sort of ground level angle, all that's really happening is that, hey, when you stand up, just the angle lifts. Yeah.
And that's part where the visualization of people, it gets kind of skewed when you go up to a standing and bent over position.
Sure.
On the ground, it makes sense. It's easy to demonstrate.
Yes.
But once I stand up, if I do this, and you'll see in a second, it does have a visually to the person a little bit different, skews it a little bit.
Yeah, and if I was standing down there, and the last point on that, especially with that little piece on the lambkin on the grip, and I was doing the same thing, I would never, ever, ever, ever make that lambkin twist about itself relative to that little R.
Correct.
Yeah. So I love that, Kevin. I think it's an initial little visual starting point to understand that. And then we're going to take a break for a second. We'll take these out, and then we'll talk about some of the other pieces that are involved with this.
Sure, great.
Okay, so moving along here with this throw style release pattern, obviously the visual on the ground there, making that pretty simple. But before we talk about feels and applications for people, I know that there's a kind of, let's say the shaft angle, right, from the down the line angle, and how that relates. Can you give us some visuals of how that relates with the different style release?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Golf clubs nowadays are being built more upright. They think everybody slices.
Yeah.
And what happens is that you can see if I built the club upright, that skews and points it way to the left.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are afraid to let the club do what it stay lower because will hit the ball to the left.
Gotcha. Yep.
But if I took it like down here, this is the extreme, we just did a minute ago with the arc.
Yep.
I'll do that. I can let the club release. It goes behind me and in front of me, and I don't have to do anything to twist it. The more I take the handle, and I'm going to go to the other extreme and raise it to 90.
Yep.
I either have to play like a croquet type thing,
Yep.
or what happens is usually when we take this golf swing and say we're more upright as we come down because the handle's higher, the face is open.
Yes.
And then to square it, you'll actually have to twist the shaft like the rudder of a boat a little bit.
So in Eric's simplified kindergarten level understanding brain, the more horizontal or lower the shaft angle, the less twist.
Very good,
right?
yes.
The more vertical, the more twist.
You have to twist it to open and close the face.
Yeah. And so if there's going to be more of a throw, we'll say release style, that would go along with a more horizontal, lower angle of a shaft,
exactly.
right? Versus the more vertical, if you see yourself at impact and the shaft super vertical, there's going to be a lot of twist along
Twisting
with
to
that.
square the face, correct.
Yeah, love that. And I think that's pretty good in terms of giving them the visuals of the two. I would like to talk a little bit about what to expect within each one of those two. So let's break for a moment and then we'll dig into that. All right, Kevin, so let's say we're during the downswing pattern and we have these two different options, right? We got the throw and we have the twist. In terms of ball flight outcome, what are some things we would expect with each one of those two release patterns?
Yeah, that's a great question. The horizontal or the throwing motion, the face and the path are very equal, very straight shots, very minimal curve. Ball position may affect it, but when I hit a shot, because that's the only way I grew up doing this, is I don't have a lot of curve.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if someone's coming down and the shaft is here and they have to twist the shaft to square it, you can see it goes from 90 open to the target.
Yeah.
To toe up, and that's what people are told, toe up to toe up.
Right.
And there's just so much rotation going on, to have it catch at zero is hard.
Yeah.
But it isn't hard to make sure I hit it with a closed face to play a draw, or a little open face to hit to fade.
Yeah, got it.
So people who have the shaft twisting, Bubba Watson, phenomenal ball hitter, very consistent, because he plays a curve.
Yes. Yeah, got it.
But if someone's got it open to close and twisting it, and tries to play straight balls, it gets very frustrating.
So you could be a great player and make either pattern work.
Oh, definitely,
right?
definitely.
The main point being like, hey, if you're going to be more of this horizontal throw style, expect to and try and manage a straighter ball.
Yeah.
And then if there's going to be more twists, you're going to play curve with that.
Yes, you have to. And I've seen tour players that we've been around and swing it more upright, but he played straight balls his whole career.
Yeah.
So when they changed the swing, he lost it. He's like, I see straight balls, but I can't hit them.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm
You
sure
know?
vice versa. Someone
Yeah,
goes the
and
other way now.
Matt Kuchar's gone the other way.
Yeah,
He was actually had a lot of twists. You can see some old YouTube videos out there where them twisting.
sure.
And then all he's really worked on with a friend of mine, my mentor, Chris O'Connell, is keeping the face stable and turned his career around, I'd
Does
say.
okay as well. So, and I think you and I, and correct me if I'm wrong in saying this, would say if you could build something from scratch, someone who's golfing, it would be easier to manage if you had more of the throw style,
Yeah.
less curve for the normal person.
Yeah.
But if you already got to the point where you play well and you have a ball pattern that's good,
I would never change it.
don't change it. But just because you see a certain release
Don't
style.
change it.
Yeah, got it. Exactly.
You know, I always say one of our thoughts is if someone swings it upright and draws the ball, they're coming from the inside.
Yep.
Don't try to change the golf swing, because if you flattened it, he's going to hook it more. Now you're going down the wrong path.
Yeah, double whammy.
So basically, you know, I'm very cautious of what the student's doing. Only fix something that makes the ball flight better. I don't care what it looks like.
Yeah, I love that. That's why you're a great coach. So I think that's very clear in terms of the understanding. Let's pause for another minute. I'm going to hop in. We're going to actually hit some shots and talk about some feels if you'd like to do a little throw style release. All right, Kevin, so let's talk about some actual feels, right, and ways to go about throw style versus a little bit of the
Okay.
twist. So I come in for a lesson. We never meet. I say, hey, Kevin, tell me, what's the deal, man? Show me this throw style release. Where would we start?
Okay, yeah, we'll take this and put this on your club first off.
Cool.
There we go. And what I'd have you do is kind of, let's just talk about the release and a little bit through the ball for a second here.
Yeah.
For a throw style release, the club is going to be working back in and up the plane.
Yep.
And when I did that, you can see your right wrist goes into the throwing motion.
Yep.
You didn't try to hold the angle and hold it and lag it back there.
Yep.
Your left wrist broke down.
Yep.
Your left elbow breaks down a little, just like it's a baseball swing. You wouldn't take a bat and swing out towards the pitcher forever because you'd hit down the first baseline.
Right. Yep.
So we're going to have you feel that you get that angle. So if we bring you back here, you're going to start to feel the club line up early.
Yep.
You can see that's already at the target.
Got it.
Very simple to just keep it moving
Yeah.
around you, and it's released.
Let it throw.
A lot of people will get to here, line it up, and then stop throwing.
Forever. Yeah. Yeah.
So once you get here, big thing for me is having people feel the left wrist give up.
Got it. So like kind of the back left
Yeah.
hand a little more up towards the sky.
I almost feel like this left arm is just kind of going cuppy.
Yep. Now, correct me if I'm wrong with this. In terms of getting to a position where someone would be able to do this, right? And I think the point you made here is important of this being already pointed towards the ball earlier, right? So if I'm coming in and I'm like here
Yep.
and I do that, obviously I didn't set myself up for it.
Yeah.
I need a twist.
If you do it back here,
Yeah.
that's a great question.
Thank you, sir.
That face is open, okay?
Yep.
Now if I do it below the waist, we call the waist a no-fly zone.
Okay.
If you start to use your right wrist once you get here, it becomes a scoop.
Okay. Okay. That's
Short
good.
game. Yeah, that was a great question.
Thank you.
Okay, that
Yeah.
becomes a scoop. Whereas if I started this early, you can see that's de-lofting the club.
Yep.
It's going to give me the shaft lean that people want to see without trying to drag it.
Yep.
But if I wait to down here and then I do it, it literally
in
is like
trouble.
a scoop.
And there's some things that again, preface this with backswing stuff that we're going to talk about in another video
Yeah.
that I know is part of this too. But I think having the club face in a position earlier
Yep.
to be able to set up the release pattern, one. I also think two, when people would see this, Kevin, we're talking about just how the arms and hands are working.
Correct.
Right? We're just looking at one piece. Obviously, there's going to be some body motion.
Yeah, a lot of
going
body,
on.
yeah.
Yeah. So like when someone might look at this and say, oh, what, blah, blah. Well, in reality, there's going to be a
Correct.
turn and a pivot there too. So
Yeah.
we're just talking about the arms and hands piece. Got it.
Because your body's actually going to, for most people, the body's already turned and the club is late, especially for we get into the flatter swingers and upright swingers.
Yeah.
So I need to get the club going to catch up to my body.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's different
Exactly.
for the people how they feel it.
Yeah, 100%. So let me hit a couple
Yep.
with that first to start with. So I'm going to pop this off here for a second, and what I'm going to feel, and I'm just going to hit some little short ones first.
Just
is
feel
I-
that cup.
Yeah, and I'm feeling the club head kind of getting in line earlier.
That's correct.
right.
It'll actually line up. Go up there one more time for me, halfway down. If I was to bring you in here
Yep.
and you start to do that, you'll see the club actually lines up with your right arm.
Yep.
It actually points to the target line.
Right.
The left arm is in.
Right.
It's just a little visual for people to see. So if you see that it's lining up,
Got it. Okay.
you're probably going to get that square, because if it's lining up with the wrong arm, it's open.
Got it. Yep. Got
There
it.
you go.
And so when I'm feeling this, I'm feeling this lining up just kind of arms and hands. But again, in reality, when I'm swinging, there's going to be a little...
Everything's moving.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
little
your
pivot.
body's going to be ahead. I'm trying to get the club head to come back around to match up with your body.
Got it. So I'm feeling this lining up.
There you go.
And then a little more kind of left. hand
Almost
up
feel
to-
like you're adding loft to the left.
Got it.
There you go. That's up the plane without twisting of the shaft.
I will say, as I'm starting to feel that I am, that it, especially, you know, me doing videos and like doing 9 million different things and trying a lot of stuff, it feels very athletic, free, like I would do in other sports, not kind of manufactured, right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna do that and feel that one more time. I like this here.
Okay, just let it, there you go.
Yeah,
Good.
got it. And I like that visual of that club head there as well.
There you go. We got
Yeah.
a little fade on that one.
So I would say for me, you know, a couple of different feels that I would have associated with this, because I am normally a shaft vertical twist guy, right? Which we'll talk about. So for me, a little more of the face up towards the sky,
Yep.
back to the left hand, and the freedom of the right hand to be able to throw.
And that's, you can see how much the club is past your lead arm if you do that.
Yeah,
That's past. You look at some Mike Austin, real long drivers, Ben Hogan.
yep,
There's where they get the lead arm, the shaft is past.
yep, got it.
Versus most people are trying to do this.
Yeah.
And I got some pictures of Hogan in his hooking years. He never let it pass.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
then he let it pass. He said he felt like he was playing closed to open, but it really wasn't.
yeah, I gotcha. Let's do one more with that, and then I want to talk about the twist
Yep.
style, because that's more kind of up my
Yep.
curveball alley.
You got it.
Yeah, so let's do one more of this.
Very good.
Yeah, I like that. And so, and I can see for me, Kevin, if I was going to hit some shots and work into that and say, hey, I want to work towards that pattern and work through a bucket of balls, that feels pretty easy for me to be able to work those in. But let's say the flip side of that,
Okay.
like me, for just a lot of different variable reasons we won't get into, and definitely more of a vertical shaft and a lot of twist
Rotation.
about it, and have hit a draw, a hook for a long period
Yep.
of time, was taught to do a lot of that. And so for me to feel that, compared to having this.
I'm going to put the ball over here because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to show you the difference in the two divots at the end so that people can see
Okay.
what they're reading.
Okay, cool, love it. So for me, as I demonstrate, we'll just do it for the camera. So for me, instead of feeling the throw style, right, it should be a little bit
Yep.
more of this way, I'm gonna feel a little bit more of
The right arm, that's it. Right arm going out towards a target like you're shaking hands.
right arm, okay, so more
Right arm,
this
yep.
way.
Yes.
Got it. And
Exactly.
when I would hit this with the throw style, you know, those balls obviously pretty straight, little cut with the wind. This I would expect to have a little draw,
Yeah.
or at least hold up
And,
against
and,
it.
and just play the draw. I mean, people have a hard time understanding that I can curve a ball 20, 30 yards
Yeah,
and it's safe.
and just play it.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice little draw on that one. Very good.
And that one, obviously, for me, feels easier to do because that's what I normally do, right? And to match up with some of my backswing pieces we talked about, I'm going to do one more here like that. So again, for me, feeling this kind of here.
Yep. Kind of going outward, isn't it? It's not
Yeah.
coming.
Fingers at the target,
There
kind
you
of
go.
palm, little handshake. I like that.
Yep.
And allow that to do a little bit of a draw motion. Let's do one more of those.
Very good.
Yeah, and that's kind of more my typical. And you can see with the performance of the shots, like the first pattern not being my normal, feels like I got to work a little bit
Correct.
more to it. But if I have those P's in line, or I wanted to take some of the curve off and go that route, no big deal.
No big deal. And I don't like to change people. That's your pattern, good player.
Yeah,
Leave it alone. Too many people are trying whatever the newest fad or something is doing. Our bodies are different. We see things differently. We've made a lot of swings differently.
Yep.
If you're starting somebody from scratch, you can kind of work with what you'd like.
Yep.
But usually trying to change somebody out of their natural tendencies is very hard and usually not successful, whether it's a PGA Tour player or a club player.
Yeah, especially if they're already to the point where you're doing this thing and hitting it fairly well, like pound
Exactly,
that pattern,
exactly.
and work that pattern. So I like that, Kevin. I think that's a pretty good starting point for us, guys. Throw style release pattern versus a twist. A little bit of a recap here with some of this. Throw style pattern, face being more square to the arc, straighter golf balls.
Yep.
Twist style pattern, expect to play more of the curve ball. right?
Perfect.
Play it and own it.
Jack Nicklaus, Bubba Watson do it perfectly.
Eric Cogorno.
There you go.
Okay, trifecta. And I really like that. A couple simple feels to start with, more throw style, more kind of right wrist past the hand, left back of the hand up towards the sky. The twist style with the palm more down the target line. Liked it a lot. Figure out what works. We're going to talk in another video about some of the backswing pieces, but that was a beautiful start. Kevin, thanks.
Very good.
Appreciate it. Hey guys, hopefully you liked this video. Now that you just got done, go ahead and click one of the cards on the screen here. Going to take you to another video for you to understand more about what we just talked about. If you did like the video, do us a favor, click that like button down below, really helps us out. Click the notification bell so you don't miss any videos, and please subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.